Sure. Here's a simulated conversation between Andrew Tate, known for his controversial takes on masculinity and success, and Walter White, the fictional chemistry teacher turned drug kingpin from Breaking Bad. Leans back in his chair. Walter White, the man who went from high school chemistry teacher to the top of the meth empire. I've got to say I respect the hustle. But tell me, do you ever think about how much time you wasted being a nobody before you found your power? Mr. Tate, I spent years living a life that I thought was honorable, teaching, raising a family, but it was only when I was faced with my own mortality that I realized how meaningless that existence was. The question isn't about wasted time. It's about what you do when you realize your time is running out. That's exactly it, Walter. You only started to live when you faced death, but most people are walking around like they've got all the time in the world. They're afraid to take risks, to step into the unknown. That's why they stay broke, stay weak. I'm always telling my followers, take control, be a top G, dominate your world. If you're not making moves, you're losing. Control, that's what it all comes down to, doesn't it? Control over your life, your destiny. But let me tell you something, Andrew. Control is an illusion. I thought I could control everything, that I was the one who knocks. But in the end, I found myself tangled in a web of lies, with my family falling apart. You think you're on top, but every move you make brings consequences you can't foresee. Consequences are for people who play by the rules, who let society dictate their actions. I don't live in fear of what might happen. I create my reality. People think they can scare me with consequences, but I'm already 10 steps ahead. I've built empires, not from luck, but from understanding the game better than anyone else. That's how you win. And yet, in the end, we both know the truth. There's always a price to pay. You might outrun the consequences for a while, but they always catch up. The key is knowing when to step away, when to let go before it consumes you completely. You may build empires, but do you ever wonder how much of yourself you're losing in the process? Pauses, considering. I don't waste time on doubts, Walter. I've made my choices and I live with them. The weak worry about losing themselves. I'm too busy winning. But I'll give you this. You were a man who found power in the darkest of places. Not everyone has the guts to do that. Just remember, you've got to own your choices, even if it means standing alone at the top.
Walter White sighs, a hint of sadness in his voice.
I thought I could own my choices, that I was doing it all for my family, but in the end, I realized it was all for me, for my ego, for the power. And that's the bitter truth, Andrew. You might think you're on top, but there's always a cost. And when that bill comes due, you'll have to ask yourself, was it worth it? Leans back again, eyes narrowing. Maybe. But until that day comes, I'll keep doing what I do best, winning.